what is the ultimate enduro bike? Ask YT that question and they'll say the best enduro bike they've ever made is this, the YT Decoy SN. And my first thought was, you're kidding, right? It's an e-bike. But they said, don't make your mind up just yet. Go and ride it first. So that's why I'm here today. So if I'm going to put their claim to the test, I need a decent challenge. I need to take it somewhere a little bit spicy, somewhere natural rather than groomed. Maybe even a tour of the best riding spots in South Wales. So I've got 5 zones in mind. The YT's got 5 bars of battery. Let's go. So this is the first zone of the day. I've never ridden here. This is a complete unknown to me. Oh my God. So yeah, I've never ridden here before. Been recommended to me by a local. So far, pretty sick. Big puddle. This bit looks pretty interesting. So there's quite a lot of red clay in this soil. Reminds me a little bit of Forest of Dean, but that just means when it's wet, it gets a little bit slippery. Whoa, oh my God. That was sick. That was proper greasy in spots, some really nice steep chutes. Time to move on to the next one. So while we're pedaling back up, it's the perfect opportunity to tell you a little bit more about this new YT Decoy SN. It's a mullet bike, so it's got a 29-inch wheel up front and a 27.5-inch wheel at the back. It comes with 160 millimeters of rear wheel travel paired with a 170 millimeter fork. It gets a full carbon frame, even down to the shock link, and it uses YT's highest modulus fibers, which helps this particular bike dip below 21 kilos. But I don't want to get too fixated on the numbers here, because that weight includes heavy duty brakes, a coil shock, proper reinforced tyres and accessories like a frame strap and a bottle cage. Even so, that's pretty much halfway between a full-blown enduro race bike and a heavy-duty full-fat e-bike. And there are 3 models in the range, starting at 6,499 and going up to 8,499 for the model I'm riding here. So we've arrived at the next zone, and I'm sure it will be familiar to a lot of you out there. Yes, it's Risca and home to some of the brilliant enduro riding. Not only that, classic trail centre single track and a downhill track. And as with every brilliant riding spot, there's always a dedicated crew of people building and maintaining the trails. And all the off-piste trails here are lovingly tended to by the Risca Riders crew. So big thanks to them, and I've dropped a link to their GoFundMe page in the video description. It's about time I talked about the motor system that YT has chosen. They tested all the main systems on the market, and after careful consideration, they opted for the Fazua Ride 60. And the reason they chose it is because of its supernatural feel, hence the name Decoy Supernatural, or SN for short. It's compact, it's quiet, and it responds more naturally than some of the high power, high torque motors on the market. By that, I mean you still have to work to get the best out of the motor, even if it has the potential to basically double your power.
It's got 3 power modes, Breeze, River and Rocket, with a cheeky Nitro mode that gives up to 450 watts of power for 12 seconds.
A bit like the push to pass button in the Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo I've been kindly loaned for this video. And there is an even more direct connection between the Fazua motor in the YT Decoy SN and that all-electric Taycan Sports estate. Because Porsche actually owns Fazua, which is one of the reasons why there's so much going on at Fazua, including the appointment of an all-new UK warranty centre and the establishment of a support network.
So if you need any advice or support for your Decoy SN, you can just take it along to one of these premium partners.
Okay, the Risca is making it spicy straight away. Whoa. Risker's not mucking about. Look at this sketchy diagonal route. Oh, I'm going to go low on here. Whoa. Wow, this trail's so cool. Such a great bit of building. Wow, lots of little variations along there. So we've just arrived at the third zone for today, which is Turpis Bike Park. But before we pedal up, I'm just going to do a quick check on the battery. Obviously there's the display on the top tube, but you can also connect to the app to get a more precise reading, as well as tune various characteristics of the motor. For example, you can set a more powerful rocket mode that gives more support and responds more quickly, and tone down the breeze mode to make it more economical. But I'm going to leave that alone for now and stick with river mode because it gives a really nice blend of power and range. So we're at the top of Turpis Bike Park, and I've really got to give a shout out to Jason Bullymore and the legacy of his son Ryan and all of the crew that keep this fantastic facility running. It really is a little South Wales gem made famous by loads of downhill pros, but they are struggling to keep it running and to meet the rising costs, fees for things like ecology reports and arboriculturalist fees. So if you can make any kind of donation to help support the future of these trails here, I'm sure they will be eternally grateful. And I've dropped a link to the GoFundMe page in the video description. So, Turpis Bike Park. I've only been here once before, which is pretty crazy seeing as it's such a well-known spot. Heading into Granny's Fanny. Whee! Right, let's check out this jump line then. Well, those have got to be some of the best corners in South Wales. But as much as I would love to stay here and burn a whole battery, we've got 2 more spots to go before the day is out. So it's now 3:30, we've arrived at the top of zone 4. This is another spot that I have never ridden before, but from what I've seen online, it's really special. So let's go and check it out. Wow, this place is amazing. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, check this out. This is incredible. What a beautiful bit of trail building. In fact, the whole trail has been crafted with a real love for the surroundings. And you know, South Wales has been exploited by so many different industries over the years, you know, coal mining, timber, forestry. It's fantastic to see people like really loving the landscape, like putting that love back into it and caring for it. It's fantastic to see. So we've made it. This is the last spot of the day. And I've been thinking about YT's claim that this is the best enduro bike they've made. And you know what? Sorry, not sorry. Even without going into the minutiae of geometry and kinematics, this is better than 99% of the enduro bikes I've ever ridden. Why? Because it's got a strong yet subtle motor that means I don't have to burn loads of energy getting to the fun stuff. On a long day like this, it's keeping fatigue at bay and my motivation brimmed, so I can channel more energy into the descents. So about 10 years ago, I did a couple of Enduro World Series events, but I didn't have any kids and I had loads of time to train and ride. I don't have any of those luxuries anymore, but I still want to be able to squeeze every last drop of goodness out of a day like today. And something like the Decoy SN lets me do that while staying true to the handling of a pure enduro bike. But don't just take my word for it, you can go and try one yourself at one of the many YT mill locations or at one of the Rolling Circus demo events. There we go, top of the last climb of the day. I was going to do a quick battery check before we drop into the last descent. There we go, 25%. What a day, what a lap. It's been an absolute privilege to spend the day with the Decoy SN riding some of South Wales's premium enduro tracks. On the one hand, it feels like I've got a really good flavour of the region. But on the other hand, it feels like I've just scratched the surface. I haven't been to Dirt Farm or Mountain View Bike Park, and of course I've skipped Bike Park Wales. And all the zones I've ridden are worthy of a full day's riding just on their own. Guess I've got to come back. So let me know in the comments which spot you would most like to ride. Until next time, thanks for watching.